Hi and welcome to today's reading. Today's reading is a combination of some messages that I've been pulling through this morning and a song that I was hearing. It is a collective reading. It is also timeless. So whenever you found this reading, you are meant to find it. Your guides direct you to information on your spiritual journey, which aligns with the lessons that you are currently learning, things that you are intuitively picking up on. So if you are new to my channel, welcome. Please like, share and subscribe. If you are returning, welcome back. A bit about me first. I'm an intuitive tarot reader. I often pick up on messages prior to a reading. I will then come and use my tarot and oracle decks to further clarify that message. Now, the decks that I use on my channel, because I'm also an illustrator, are my own designs, all of the decks. So if you are called to any of those decks during the reading, the links to those can be found in the description box. So we'll start with the messages that I was getting through. Now, I did a pre-shuffle and I got the card tying up loose ends. But this morning, I basically had a big cleaning morning. It's basically where I zone out. I'm scrubbing showers, scrubbing toilets, I gurneyed the deck. I did lots and lots of jobs. And when I switch off my brain, a whole heap of information just floods in. So the song that I got was Imagine Dragons. The song is called Demons. And it's a song about acknowledging and battling your insecurities and inner flaws, essentially your demons. The other thing I was thinking about, and I don't know why, because it just came through randomly, but it does align, was I was thinking about the Emperor's New Clothes. Now, I have talked about that story previously in many readings, but in different ways. What was coming through this morning, and if you think about the Emperor, if you don't know that story, he was full of ego and he wanted to parade down the street in front of his kingdom in the finest attire, and a group of tailors spun a story to him and told him that they had this most beautiful silk and they would make an outfit for him out of it. And I think it was that only people of value could see it. And he didn't want to admit his flaws. He didn't want to admit that he couldn't see the silk that they were using. And so he let them create this fake outfit for him. And he paraded down the street wearing nothing. And of course was laughed at by everybody. The message that was coming through from that was the Emperor's ego was exposed through that situation. But the tailor's desire to manipulate his ego was also revealed. In some ways, the lie, the devil, because the devil lives in your fear, it's needing to spin an outward lie in order for you to wake up to what is actually real. So the number 1010, as I was shuffling, this card came out, so that's tying up loose ends, but I also got the card healing. Truth and honesty is my priority from this deck here. I was hearing the words, what materially are you still attached to? And in order to be spiritually and financially abundant, you have to be able to, the words I got were, you have to be able to provide heaven and earth to yourself or for yourself. It can't be something that is external. When you're looking for validation, it has to come from inside, not from the outside. And that is essentially where the devil lives. The devil keeps you in that fear of thinking that you have to look a certain way, be a certain way, drive a certain car, have a certain job, hang around a certain group of people. Now, this card, tying up loose ends, from the 1st of September, which is in a couple of weeks' time, through till January 2025, Uranus, which if you've watched my channel before, is, for me, it's earthquakes, spiritual earthquakes. But Uranus is in retrograde for that time. So when you think about Uranus and you think about an earthquake, it's tearing things apart on the outside. But when it's in retrograde, it's internal reflection. And it's this internal reflection in order to move forward, tying up loose ends, in order to move forward spiritually, actually tapping into and taking a really, really good look at what keeps you in this Emperor energy. And if you think about the emperor, he had to be in that energy because how you portray yourself is then what you attract. He had to be in that energy, in that ego, in order to attract those tailors, in order to attract somebody that was going to manipulate his ego. Actually, in that music video, there's all different scenarios of people hiding their innermost fears, things that happen when nobody else can see. And then in the music video, they're standing in the crowd, and it kind of goes through each of the different examples. Have a look at that music video, look at the lyrics. If you think about a dragon, it's that fire, it's that fear that you're going to get burned, and that's the devil. But this card is telling me that, and especially with Uranus going into retrograde, it's being brought up because we're meant to look at it. And perhaps there's a connection coming up. I think it's on the 19th of August, and I'm not quite sure what it is because I pick up on some bits of astrology, but not everything. Because obviously there's so many things going on in the sky. But there's a conjunction or a transit that connects Mercury, which is communication, and Uranus. Mercury's in retrograde also. So Mercury, communication, information coming up from the past in order to change something, to tear something down. If you think of an earthquake, what it destroys. A truth coming forward, something from your past, something that is holding you in this particular energy, which is making you think that what appears on the outside is more important than actually what's on the inside. And it needs to be tied up in order for you to spiritually evolve. Okay, I'm going to get some cards. And it's funny actually, because I was talking to my husband yesterday and I said to him that I don't need stuff anymore, because at the moment, and I'm posting videos about it actually, there's one going up today, which will be a couple of days ago once this reading goes up, but it's called the purge. Clearing out, this feeling of clearing everything out. Holding on to, what are you holding on to in your home, in your life, that you have no spiritual connection with, but you have a material connection with? But I said to him, I'd be happy to go and buy a block of land somewhere out on the side of a mountain and grow my own fruit and veggies and I don't need. And I think collectively we are all going through that. And especially after COVID, we realized what we did and didn't need during COVID. So many people learned how to bake and were, growing fruit and veg and, dropping away of the material, tying up loose ends. Okay, let's get some cards. Let's see where we go. Queen of Swords. Now that is Uranus in Aquarius. As I said, Uranus goes retrograde on the 1st of September. An internal reflection. Queen of Swords, cutting out the stuff that you don't need. And you might be doing it already, like me. You might be doing it already. We're about to go, we're in the final throes. Pluto in Aquarius is a 20-year transit, which happens this year. It started back at the beginning of the year. Pluto went into Aquarius, and it's revolution. A big shake-up of the way that you think, of what is important to you. If you go back, and I've got a whole Pluto in Aquarius playlist, if you go back 250 years, because this transit happens every 250 years. We had the American Revolution, we had the French Revolution. 250 years prior, massive big shake-up, Henry VIII, Anne Boleyn, huge big shake-up within religion, within England. Prior to that, I'm giving you examples of figures in history. So the French Revolution, you think of Marie Antoinette. Henry VIII, Anne Boleyn. Prior to that was William Wallace. Huge, big revolutionary changes. What is what is important to you spiritually, not what is important to you financially. I mean, you think Marie Antoinette found out that. They put material things first, and she lost her head for it. Queen of Swords. And perhaps if we reflect back on the Emperor's New Clothes, that almost is a prime example of a Pluto in Aquarius being made to look like a fool. Because if you think of the axis between Aquarius and the opposite, which is Leo, Leo is the higher ups, the kings. Aquarius is the people. So it's material versus almost spirituality. People who have nothing but have spiritual wealth. Interesting. Eight of Pentacles. Eight of Pentacles is the sun in Virgo. I'm not sure what date the sun actually goes into Virgo. Virgo is a placement, it's health. Something that you are feeding, emotionally feeding out of fear. It's something that you are nurturing that isn't of benefit to you anymore. And the sun, something's being illuminated for you. A truth. Ten of Cups. The Ten of Cups is Mars in Pisces. What these cards are essentially saying is what you have been working towards, what your value is, where you have placed your value doesn't align spiritually. Because Pisces is spirituality. Mars in Pisces. As I said, it's not about what you've got in the bank. It's not about how many people like your social media posts. It's not about what car you drive or what clothes you wear. It's a big shakeup. But you needed to go through this process of almost being lured in. The lie needed to be spun to you in order for you to wake up to what was actually real, to what was of real value. And it could be something as simple as, if you're on, say, social media, have a look at the people that you follow. Are any of them of substance? Are they nourishing you spiritually? Because if they're not, then you're being fed the lie. And half of that stuff is a lie anyway. So you're trying to attain the lie. Well, how do you attain a lie? Because it's not real. It's an illusion. Ten of Cups. So we've got the Two of Pentacles and the Two of Cups. What I just heard was trying to balance keeping up with the Joneses. So the Two of Cups is Venus in Cancer. The Two of Pentacles is Jupiter in Capricorn. Trying to balance keeping up with the Joneses, but you're sacrificing something. Now, you might be sacrificing a relationship that you're in, putting too much focus on how things appear externally. This is the soulmate card. It could be a group of friends, or a relationship with your parents, or a relationship with workmates. Something within this is, Two of Pentacles, something within this is not balanced. And it may appear so on the outside, but underneath, this is where my demons lie. There's something hidden underneath. That song is about acknowledging and battling your insecurities and inner flaws. The Tower. Tower is Mars. And it's things coming crashing down. An illusion coming crashing down. And as I said, with the Emperor there, it may be that somebody publicly calls you out on it. that the illusion is exposed, or it may be that you are just recognizing these things on your own. And you can see it on social media at the moment. I was watching something this morning, and not to get political, but I was watching an interview by an Israeli news program, and she was interviewing somebody from within the government who was basically saying that what's actually happening is not being broadcast to the public. And it's happening all over at the moment. These illusions coming to the surface. If you open your eyes, you'll be able to see it. Towers are falling down. Let's have a look at this Queen of Swords. Okay. Nine of Wands and the Ace of Pentacles. It may not feel like it because you might be feeling exposed. Nine of Wands. Moon in Sagittarius. But it's actually a gift. This revelation that you're getting is actually a gift. And it will allow you with the Two of Wands. Two of Wands is Mars in Aries. It will allow you to realign to a path that is more spiritually viable for you instead of materially focused. The Wheel of Fortune. So it's something destined that's meant to happen. Maybe you felt, and that's that devil energy, maybe you felt stuck, like you couldn't. That Wheel of Fortune turns both ways. It's almost like somebody's got a rope tied to the back wheel of your bike and you just can't move. Well, once you actually realize what that rope is and what it is holding you back, you can cut it and then you can move forward. The Wheel of Fortune is Jupiter. Jupiter is expansion. Expanding your mind to what's actually been holding you back, to that fear. Where do we have? The Moon in Sagittarius. The Moon is a fear, a hidden fear. And that's what the devil preys on. That is what those tailors preyed on with the Emperor. They preyed on his fear and kept him stuck. Look at that. That's the Two of Pentacles. This balance. Now, it came out upright here, weighing things up. You've weighed them up. 222. That might actually be a number that you are seeing. The Two of Pentacles is balance. If you think of somebody who's juggling what is seen on the outside versus what's going on the inside. It's almost somebody who's had that epiphany. Nine of Cups is wish fulfillment. Nine of Cups is that realization that, like I said before, all you need is a piece of land, a little house, and a veggie garden. Material things don't hold any value anymore. That was the Four of Pentacles wanted to come out, which is the Sun in Capricorn, but I just want one. Knight of Wands. Mars in Sagittarius. Under here, we've got the Moon in Sagittarius. So it's this fear. And when you think of Sagittarius, Sagittarius is the archer. So if you think of an archer with their bow pulled back, waiting to take their shot, but too fearful to take it, the Moon in Sagittarius. Now we've got the Knight of Wands. Now the Knight of Wands takes action. Mars in Sagittarius. The Knight of Wands takes action. Mars is the Tower card here. Because something has been pulled down. An illusion has been pulled down. And now you can move forward with this Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, look at that, the Chariot. Now you can move forward. The Emperor, which is also Mars energy, the Emperor drives the Chariot. But In all the chariot cards, you have two horses, two sphinxes. There's always two. It's got to be balanced in order for that chariot to drive forward. There's got to be that realization of that fear. Whatever you were aligning yourself with is actually keeping you stuck. Because, as I said, if you go, for example, if you go on Instagram, those algorithms are set up so that as soon as you search for something, literally every 2 seconds, you'll get some other post that's recommended. So if you're searching for something that is material or something that you need because you're feeling insecure or you're battling your inner demons, then that algorithm will bring up all of that stuff for you, which basically just compounds your fears and keeps you stuck, keeps that rope tied on the back of your bike, keeps that archer with the bow drawn back but not able to shoot forward. With the Knight of Wands, forward movement, and the Chariot, again, that forward movement, because this realization that something that you put a focus on materially is actually keeping you stuck. And it did want to come out. That is the Sun in Capricorn, the Capricorn. The Four of Pentacles. The Four of Pentacles is fear. The Four of Pentacles is the miser energy. It's holding on, perhaps holding on to the illusion that you've got to have the house, you've got to have the car, you've got to have the clothes, you've got to have the this, you've got to have the dog, you've got to have the, all this sort of stuff, when really it's all meaningless. And it's being peddled to you by people like those tailors who recognized in the Emperor a fear that they could manipulate. Yeah, it's deceptive. The Seven of Swords. That energy at the moment, Seven of Swords is coming out a lot. There's a lot of deception. I was actually thinking about this morning. You might be one of these people who gives to everybody because it makes you feel good. And I was like this before COVID. I was very involved in my kids' sport, and I'm a giver. And I literally did everything, volunteered to do everything. But because I overgave, I was then manipulated by people who recognized that I was happy to give, but couldn't see that I was being taken advantage of. It might be something like that. And I had to pull back my energy. I had to recognize that my value wasn't in giving. Two of Wands again. It's a retraining of your brain that your external worth isn't on, and we're taking a different tact here, but isn't on what you can provide to other people or what you appear to have. It's actually on what you give yourself, how you nurture yourself. Okay, let's have a look. This is my Divine Messages Oracle deck. Let's have a look at what your guides want to tell you about this situation. That's too many. We've got partnership here. You may be in a partnership with somebody who is relying on your desire to please, or relying on your desire to feed your ego, but they're manipulating you. But you've actually got to get into a partnership with yourself. And in the beginning I said, spiritually and financially abundant, because spiritual health is the new wealth. I provide heaven and earth for myself. What else? Deep shadow work. Inner wisdom. These cards are beautiful. And it's not a criticism of where you are. As I said before, the phrase needed to spin the lie in order for you to wake up to what was real. You needed to experience striving for something material or striving for something that fed your ego or striving to create this illusion in order for you to recognize that it has no value. Deep shadow work, inner wisdom. New connection. In order to maybe cut ties with people in your life that are manipulating your fears for their own gain. The mountain, the view from the top. And we've got love offer coming in. Maybe it's within a relationship. We do have the Two of Cups there. Hidden things that are done in the dark. One more. And life purpose. Part of the journey that your soul is on is to go through whatever experience this is. Lighthouse on the bottom. For you to be your own lighthouse is what I want to say. And if you think of ships, you know, I think of a lighthouse on a cliff, and it just stands there solid in a big storm. It doesn't really matter what's going on around you. In this journey for you, this deep shadow work, this inner wisdom, life purpose, part of this internal reflection for you, part of what you discover about your spiritual wealth versus your material wealth, you will actually be a lighthouse for other people and help them on their own spiritual journeys. Because as I said, collectively, we're all going through it. Showing other people what's important and what's not. 47, Azalea, divine contemplation. Making other people think about what is of value to them. What are they investing their time and their energy into? This is my Angel Oracle deck. Divine contemplation. It's almost a catalyst for change. Friendships. Catalyst for change in the friendships around you. New friendships. (45) Motivation and willpower. Giving other people the strength to make the same changes. To do that same internal reflection. As I said, Uranus is in retrograde, so that's internal reflection, making big changes. Internal reflection between September and January. January next year, and I will talk about it more when I pull out my nodes of destiny cards. January next year is when the North Node, which is our collective point of destiny, life purpose, it goes into Pisces. Pisces for 18 months. 18 months. Now Pisces is spirituality. 54, Nithael, mercy. That is being given grace. When you're on a spiritual journey, when you're on a journey of internal reflection, when you are looking back and recognizing where fear potentially held you back in the past and kept you in patterns where you were stuck in your ego or stuck in the illusion that essentially the world tries to keep us in, stuck in the matrix. Once you start to recognize that and start to break away from it, mercy is forgiveness. As I said, it's a lesson that needs to happen in order to be able to break free. So if you're learning that lesson, don't be hard on yourself for striving for something that didn't actually have spiritual value. Let's have a look at Moon Oracle. So we have Supermoon, where feelings go on a wild roller coaster. Don't be hard on yourself. Full Moon in Gemini, time to talk the talk. Communication is the secret source. This is communication coming to you. And as I said, Mercury is about to go retrograde. So Mercury is communication, and it's retrograde is things coming up from the past. So maybe patterns that you've had in the past that have kept you stuck in this material, egoic like emperor energy. stuck on this hamster wheel, stuck on a hamster meal, goodness my words. Full moon in Virgo vibes. You are more than enough. Don't be fearful. Don't listen to the negative things that you are telling yourself. Spiritually and financially abundant, I provide heaven and earth for myself. Now this is the Nodes of Destiny deck. South Node in Aries. Born with the South Node in Aries, flying solo feels like second nature to you. Past lives molded you into a lone wolf with a rebellious streak. But in this life, it's all about weaving those cosmic connections. So what that's actually saying is, instead of having a social media account where you are constantly looking at what everybody else has, striving for what everybody else has. Now the South Node is what you are releasing. You need to start following pages where people are connecting on a spiritual level. Maybe it's just following pages where they're eating cleaner, or following pages where they're doing things like van life, or following pages where people are actually releasing things of material value, because that's where you then start to connect friendships, new connections with other people on a similar spiritual journey to you. Cutting away all the things that just tie you back to this fear that's kept you in that Emperor mindset. South Node in Aquarius. When the South Node hangs out in Aquarius, it's like a blast from the past, where you rock those Aquarius vibes in your previous lives, or even earlier in this one. These traits are like a cozy blanket for your soul, but be careful not to overdo it. Letting go of them is a key to leveling up your spiritual game. Now, Aquarius is the rebel. Maybe you don't like being told. It's a similar vibe in the fact that it's an opportunity for you to connect with community. South Node. Now, these are all South Nodes. South Node is your comfort zone. It's what you are releasing. 11th house South Node. You're as slick as a ninja's blade, but don't freeze over that heart of gold. Sprinkle in some love and creativity for a toasty twist. This zone is all about kicking back, expanding spiritually, and blossoming into a fresh and fabulous you. It's about connection. Wow, and North Node in Pisces, look at that on the bottom. North Node goes into Pisces in January. Pisces North Nodes add a dash of caring energy and gut feelings to the galactic gathering. Imagine your North Node as a mystical map guiding you to where you can boost your skills, unveiling hidden lessons. If you're feeling all over the place with tasks, it might just be the universe whispering for you to unleash your creative wizardry. It's just baby steps as we head into this North Node, that point of destiny, life purpose. And maybe some peeling back of the layers as we go in there, peeling back to expose those demons. As I said, Uranus is retrograde, so it's an internal, almost an eternal tearing apart of foundations that you had that are keeping you stuck. Let's have a look and see if there's any other. Shape of My Heart by the Backstreet Boys. Baby, please try and forgive me. Stay here. Don't put out the glow. Hold me now, don't bother. If every minute it makes me weaker. You can save me from the man that I've become. Looking back on the things that I've done, I was trying to be someone. I played my part, kept you in the dark. Now let me show you the shape of my heart. That is about somebody who was trying to create an outwardly image like that emperor, and it cost them. Two of Cups. They sacrificed. You've sacrificed. Now it might be a person. You've sacrificed something. A fear that you have has made you sacrifice something, and now this realization that that's what's happened. How interesting is that? I love when cards come out like that. Mercy. Okay, let's get some messages from your higher self. This is my love messages deck. Whoa. Normally it's messages from your person, but today I'm taking it messages from your higher self. I just want 3. What does your higher self want to tell you? I want to talk to you, but fear takes over. That's that fear. Acknowledging and battling your insecurities and inner flaws. What happens when you bring the devil to the surface? Well, what happens when you bring the devil to the surface is you expose it. And then you can work on it. You are often on my mind, meaning that it's obviously something that you are thinking about, something that you are aware of. I know there is important things we need to discuss. It's something that you're aware of, that maybe you've pushed down because of fear. I want to try, and now is the time. Okay, finally, I'm going to get some Scrabble tiles. In here, letters and numbers on each tile. I'll call them out. Could be your first, middle, last initial, that of something else that surrounds whatever this is in your life. We've only got a few. Okay, we've got an L and a 1, an S and a 1, an N and a 1, an I and a 1, a C and a 3, a D and a 2, a T and a 1, an X and an 8, and a K and a 5. The first thing I saw, NCIS. Now, that's that crime show where they get to the bottom of things. They unearth things. Okay, that is what I have for you. Thank you so much for joining me. If this reading did resonate with you, if you have intuitively been picking up on these things and this reading gave you some confirmation, please give it a like. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I do post frequently. As I said, if you are interested in any of my tarot or oracle decks, the links to them can be found in the description box. Thanks again, and I will see you again in another reading.